Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this a brand new day. The sun is not shining, but at least it's not raining. It apparently stopped during the night. Birds are chirping, and it's gray, but hey, at least it's not raining. And when I went walkies last night, it largely wasn't raining. I had to bring my umbrella with me because it was misting, but it was also horrifically windy. Oh my God. But right now, it's just a day. I slept, thank goodness. My inner thigh muscle on my right leg did not cramp this morning like it did yesterday, so thank goodness for that. Boy, vey, pain is so much fun. And of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, it'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, it'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are literally beautiful and literally awesome people that without their help, I would be hosed like a literal Christmas monkey. We just went through Christmas. You know what a monkey is. Being hosed like a Christmas monkey is not a good thing. Without these people's help, this is what my fate would be. If you would like to help keep me from being hosed like a Christmas monkey, I have links to my Patreon in the video description, as well as a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like pet food on it, and of course my post office box where I will open up absolutely anything that everybody sends to me if anybody sends me anything. I've gotten a letter in the past couple months from RJ Mitchell. Thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciate it. And hey, front loading of videos over. Son of a gun. Well, goodness gracious, I had falling asleep problems yesterday. Of course, I have terrible insomnia. I'm lucky if I sleep 4 hours a night. But at least I'm doing better than, excuse me, than I did when my wife was alive. Because quite frequently, I got 1 hour of sleep a night. I was afraid to fall asleep. I wanted to be awake in case something horrible happened and I needed to call for 911 or some such. So I stayed up a lot and got like an hour's worth of sleep for years and years and years. Doing better, so that's a good thing. But yes, I survived yesterday, and that's a good thing. I didn't record anything, of course, but I did editing, and hopefully I'm going to be doing some recording today. I wanted to record yesterday. I wanted to record some game stuff, but good old executive dysfunction. Whenever you want to do something, you have to solve a puzzle first, and you can't always do that. So, yay. But life is life. Oh, itchy nose. My apologies. One of the things that I have been looking at, continue to look at, and want to run for the channel just to show the various options that everybody has. I want to continue playing for a long time. Well, not a long time, not for years and decades, but I want to continue doing continued series on things like No Quest and Forgan's Darkness and D100 Dungeon and things like that. But I also want to continue showing off all the other things. I still want to show you all how to do Scarlet Hero with the solo rules. I want to show you all how oracles work and such like that. There's a lot of one-page games out there where all the rules are on one page. So I want to show those things off as well. So yay. Hopefully on January 1st, when I get more money to go printing up at the library, I'll be able to print some of these things because there's a lot of free or low cost, and that's a very good thing. One thing that happens amongst the gaming world, just like anything else, but with more of a pat on the back for saying go ahead. There's something called the OGL, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like something gaming license. A lot of these people that make these smaller games use the gaming license and the Creative Commons licensing to just say, hey, take this game, go nuts, change it if you like, and if you make it different enough, hey, publish it yourself. And so there's a lot of games that are like the originals based on, Dungeons and Dragons, and then it becomes based on the other one is based on that and something else, and then they base another version on that. And then there's now it's become so different that they refer to it not as the original thing, but as this one now, and then they base things on that. So it's kind of, worm eating its own tail like, but that's okay. Because there's games like Knave. Knave looks interesting. And then they base other games off Knave, like Maze Rats. And then somebody will make a game, Maze Rat, which is the solo version of Maze Rats. You still need to buy the other person's game of Maze Rats, but then once you buy this other person's game of Maze Rat, you put them together, and now you play this multiplayer game solo. There we go. So there's a lot of that going on out there. And there's one game that I took a look at and looks really good. It's like Roguelands. And it's another one of those, it's a non-solo game, but there are a ton of videos and articles and supplements to play it solo. So I want to do stuff like that too. Thumbs up. Yay. I am sad about some things. There is a huge amount of material for like For Against Darkness. The people that make For Against Darkness also make a couple other things. There's like For Against Mars. Oh, there's just been the one game. There's never been any supplements for it. And then there's For Against the Great Old Ones. It's a Cthulhu Lovecraftian thing. Just the base game, never any supplements for it. Alone Against Fear. They came out with 2 supplements for that. And nothing else. For Against Darkness has this much and more. Why not love for any of these other games? People really want those too. So, life is life on that. I just thought I'd mention that whole part of it. Because I like horror games and all this stuff. And then, of course, there's the game Micro Chatbook RPG. I kind of really like this one, but I kind of also don't. I've never played it. I've been reading the rules. One of the issues with a game like this is they boil things down so much that all of the monsters are the same. They just have different names. You might have a goblin, and it has like the 3 stats for the goblin. And then you come up with other monsters that are just different names, but the exact same stats. And there's no real way to differentiate them. Whereas a game like NoteQuest or some such uses the keyword or monster ability thing. That works out so much better. They use keywords for NoteQuest, like undead, where if it has undead, it has these things. You get about 8, 10, 12 of these different stuff. Pop one onto a monster that's different. An undead goblin is different from a goblin. An undead goblin, well, put another thing on there like demon, add that onto it, and suddenly there's a 3rd type of monster. So you could do that, but Micro Chatbook RPG doesn't, which is kind of frustrating, especially since, as mentioned, they do it for a lot of these games out there. D100 Dungeon has a whole bunch of monster abilities things on it. For Against Darkness, I believe, has some form of that. NoteQuest has that. There are one-off games out there like Dungeon Blitz. They do that. So it's annoying when things are too simplistic, especially when you get the base game for it. If you want to go off and explore random dungeons, they give you 3 dungeon types with 3 monster types, and that's it. That's it. I mean, you think you're going to run through the material in For Against Darkness quickly with its D6 tables? There's only 3 choices in Micro Chatbook. So, yay. But coming on to some other stuff, here's on the creative things, the stuff that I've been thinking about there. One of the things that I've been thinking about this one a fair amount, because I've mentioned that the modern urban cryptid in my setting now, they are being rapidly whipsawed and just swung from place to place, every single generation being different because of the whole changing world and all of our fears and mass global communications, where local fears can now become global, as well as local dreams becoming global dreams. So all these cryptids are being rapidly whipsawed. And so there are those in the modern urban cryptid setting where they largely refer to human beings as just cattle, just something to eat. There's cryptids like Polly, whose basic view on human beings is, we're here to be eaten. Fill your belly. That's what we're for. She, even though she says that, sticks with her own nature and doesn't just devour people willy-nilly, though. She still eats far too many people, but is not just, if you're tired, eat someone. If you're hungry, eat someone. If you're not hungry, eat someone. Just eat someone. No, she's not that far. But there are those like the suburban cryptids who live among human beings, who live, grow up, fall in love with, marry, have children with, mourn when they pass, and then are mourned in turn when they pass by the people that they live among. I've talked about, there's one character that I have, Cal Tyndale, who is a mid to late 70s year old suburban cryptid who is now just sold his house and his home and bought an RV and is traveling around the countryside, just seeing the sights and visiting human and cryptid places. Just stuff to do to not think about the fact that his wife died, like 15 years back. Once he retired, there was nothing to distract him anymore, and he couldn't live in that empty house that just echoed with the absence of his wife. So he goes out traveling. He's also, even though he's in his late 80s, he will roll up his sleeves and he will prepare to beat the living snot out of you if you dare to call human beings cattle. Now, even though he's a cryptid, he ain't gonna kill you and he ain't gonna eat you, but he's gonna beat you within an inch of your life and then let you live to think about the mistake you made. Because in his view, he is going to pound some sense into you, because how dare you call the memory of my late Emma cattle? And he will beat the fact into you that you made a terrible mistake. So yeah, not all cryptids have that view, especially rural cryptids. They live among human beings, and even though human beings out in rural settings, they can't interact with cryptids, any more frequently than those in urban areas can. So even though they can't interact, on a one-to-one basis with human beings, they live amongst and don't think that human beings are as good as cryptids, but definitely don't look down on them and don't want to just eat them. Because, oh my God. At the same time, of course, when the corporations and companies like Uncle Bonbon start offering human-based food and snack products, rural cryptids will eat those too. We still taste delicious. They want to have a taste as well. They just don't want to have to kill us to do it. So, thumbs up on that. And let's see what else there is. There's a fair amount of things, but I got a little moth floating around in the room. It's gotten so warm, as you'll notice, I'm just wearing a t-shirt again. So, yay. But I got my meds yesterday, my ADHD meds. They finally showed up after a week. So, now that I've been out of my meds for a week, and now that I'm going back onto them, it's going to be about another week before they can really take effect. So it's going to continue to be bad for about another week. Hopefully I can remember to order my meds on time next month so that this doesn't happen again. Still though, on my list, yes, this is also one thing. I tend to fixate on various things about my cryptid settings, especially. I follow my subconscious where it goes. But, like anything, if you go into a situation, a setting, and you fixate on an idea, of course, if it was like a real setting or a movie or you would notice it everywhere. because you're fixating on that. It's like if you see a red car, and it sticks in your head, you're going to start seeing those red cars everywhere. They've always been there. It's just now you're noticing them. So if you fixate on cryptids devouring human beings and eating human food products and human snacks and human beings that do the same thing, yeah, you're going to see it everywhere. It is going to you're going to be squicked out by it because it's everywhere. But if you don't fixate on that, like if I don't bring up all the time what they're doing with this, it just fades into the background. It's just a thing. So I'm fixating on it now, bringing it into the forefront. But when it's in the normal stories, it's a minor thing. It's not everyone, everywhere, all the time. There's not just a constant stream of human beings down cryptids' throats. That's not the way it works. It just seems like that because of the way I personally fixate on things. So, because as stated, I follow my subconscious where it goes. So let me just talk about that, especially since here, I'm going to bring this woman up as well. I've been thinking about just the various sociological parts of these things, where I've mentioned before how there's two characters, Clausy and Alan. Then they are older generation cryptids, so they're more animalistic. They're still, they look human, they act human, they talk like people, but Clausy especially, she doesn't really use her brain for thought processes or like thinking. So they both more just exist rather than think about things as they exist. Try to remember where I was going this. Yes, because of things like this and the constant way that they feel and talk, because cryptids are forthright. They don't play a lot of the political people games that we do. They don't use a lot of euphemisms. They don't hide their feelings. They don't pretend to like something when they really don't. If they don't like something, they'll tell you. If they do like it, they'll let you know. If they would love to eat you, they'll tell you. They won't act on it if you're a human being with the vision where your third eye is open, because by custom and genetic imperative, they don't eat people like that. But yeah, they'll let you know. And they talk about this amongst each other and about other people and humans all the time. It's talked about as a reward. If you do this just right, I promise I'll eat you tonight. It's a punishment. You do this or I am going to eat you right now. Jimmy, a cryptid, will eat people just as food. He will eat people in anger if you shove him and make him angry and you push him into his instinctive actions. Because then you have a large, angry, strong animal that has a constant and desperate hunger for human flesh. You're not going to be around much longer at that point. But also, he really hates the fact that James Dean died before he was even born, because he would have loved to have eaten James Dean. Not as punishment, but to make them a part of you, to get as close to them as possible, because what is more intimate than making another person a part of you by eating them? That's not punishment. That is becoming the other person by making them a part of you. So eating someone is punishment. You dog. Cornetto would eat people that way. There's the pleasure thing, where he would have eaten someone not out of hatred, but because it's the most intimate act you can have. And then you also eat people just because, hey, I gotta fill my belly. So it means 3 different things. Same result. I mean, your meat's being digested, but 3 different reasons. And this permeates all of cryptid culture. And of course, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank how many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count in American Sign Language, I'm also wheezing and really want to cough a lot. Air quality is only fair. and I have adult onset asthma, and also I smoke cannabis, so I am wheezing like an accordion right now. Yay. But I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments, blah, 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 blah. Let's get that done. Hopefully I remembered to edit out all that coughing. We have, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, so I don't want to try T-O, and then the O has one of those little accent marks. D-O-R, Attila, thumbs up and thank you. Shinra, greatly appreciated, and I keep forgetting to make that shield in Minecraft. I am a fool. J-A-Y-Y, thumbs up, thank you. Greatly appreciated, and good to see you in the comments. And there is Chris, thumbs up. And yeah, I'm going to be making longer Minecraft videos, don't worry. Good to see you in the comments. Forum, you, always good to see you in the comments, my friend. And yes, indeed, I use that phrase on purpose. Christopher Diaz, thumbs up and thank you. Cake, thumbs up and thank you much. And I should take naps on purpose, but I don't. I try to power through it, and then I fall asleep without meaning to. So insomnia is fun. And then we have Dav, thumbs up. Aaron Kurtz, greatly appreciated, and I do plan on making reaction videos again here soon. And then we have Tommy Copeland, good to see you in the comments, thumbs up and thank you. There is Kevin PRZY, and that is it. 11 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated. Get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people. I'm salivating around my dentures like mad. It is definitely a good thing. Thumbs up and thank you. I'm going to be trying to do what I can do today. I got things and calls I need to make, as well as I do want to record, so it's going to be a busy day. Thumbs up for that. Hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done, but if you can't, of course, don't beat yourself up. Survival is so much more important, and beating yourself up, that's not going to make you do it better next time. You're just punishing yourself for no good reason. And of course, the way the world is, if people are getting sick in your area, please take appropriate precautions. Distancing, masking, isolation if absolutely necessary. If people are getting hurt or such like that, don't go dancing naked on a busy highway. I mean, goodness gracious. And of course, if you are out walkies, and no matter what time of day or where you are, if you hear that bus horn, the mournful howl of that bus, the bus with your name on it, well, your corpse is going to get smeared across wherever the bus happens to impact on you. You're going to get smeared, and it isn't going to get pretty, or even be pretty. So thumbs up for that. Nice ruining of my dramatic pauses. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.